I've watched brand owners go from 200k to 500k per month by changing one number on a spreadsheet. We're talking about the same creative, same campaign setup, same media buyer. The only difference was one number, and it's the same number that I see 90% of brands calculating completely wrong. We've got access to over 100, 150 different ad accounts at any one time. Our actual ad creatives spend well over $3 million per month, which means in this video, I'm going to break down the exact number that the winning brands are bidding against, why it lets them outspend everyone else in the auction, and how you can actually implement this and work it out for your brand as well. Now, section 1 is the number that most brands get completely wrong. Now, the majority of brands that I speak to are completely capping their growth because they're only looking at the money that they make on the first sale. Depending on what category you're in, this could put a huge ceiling on how much you can spend to acquire a customer because your competitors are going to be following a different strategy that I'm going to touch on later. Now, this is what a lot of brands, they'll cap at the 200, 300, even 500k per month mark, and you just can't spend more without your CPA going too high to a place where you don't think you can afford it. So we've got clients in the supplement space, in the kind of healthcare space and wellness, they're all scaling at 0.6 ROAS. So that means they're actually losing money on the first sale. And they can do this because they're optimizing for LTV. They know how much a customer is going to actually pay. Now, I was actually speaking to a friend of mine who runs a D2C brand, ecom brand, that's doing $30 million per year. And he said to me, the biggest thing that he optimizes for now is building a brand, building LTV, and having something in place that's going to be able to capture customers and have that high LTV. If you're not a subscription brand, it's the same kind of logic, but the math still applies to you. You can still optimize on LTV, and it doesn't mean that you have to have a 0.6 ROAS. The LTV math might say that you actually need 2.5, you need 3, you even need 6. And in some industries, that's totally fine. It just is very industry specific. And we work with a lot of supplement brands that are spending a lot. So that's just naturally our perspective on things. We have some low spending at client ad accounts, 6 figures a month that have much higher ROAS as well. But this strategy is basically knowing your personal unit economics really well, and no other person can tell you that. And then once you've worked that out, bidding as far up to it as possible and basically growing into that. Now, obviously, this is the strategy of growth and scaling as quickly as possible. On the flip side, you might want to be as profitable as you can. That might not be the best actual strategy if you just want to be as profitable as you can. So it's really dependent on your goal. Most people, it is growth and getting those customers in. But some people, we've got clients that really are optimizing for short-term profitability as well. Now, look, we've got an example here on the first sale versus the actual LTV, just to put it in perspective. So what a lot of brands will optimize for, and to be honest, you don't have much choice when you're first starting out unless you have funding from other brands, investors, etc., etc. You'll have to start at this level. But when you get up to 100k, 200k, 300k per month and you really want to scale and go for growth, that's when you can kind of pivot and start optimizing for LTV. And really you need about 6 months, 12 months in perfect world of LTV data, unless you're, really confident, which I really wouldn't recommend. You see some brands actually going into debt to go for the LTV strategy, which I 100% wouldn't recommend. I don't think that's a good idea at all, not financial advice and anything. However, here's what we're looking at. So we've got a client that's doing about 12 million a month, spending that much on Meta. They pay $1 and they get 0.6 ROAS. So a lot of brands, a lot of people, a lot of beginners will see, well, you're spending $1, you're losing money. How on earth does that make sense? What these guys see is what a customer's worth in 6 months, and they'll work that out and spend $1 and get $3.40 back. And that's the number that they're bidding against. And obviously when you get to this scale, you have so much LTV data, you have so much capital, so your risk tolerance is much higher. Now for you guys, it can be very minimal. You get to 100k, 200k a month in ad spend, and then you can flip your strategy after you've got 6, 12 months of LTV data. Actually, I can afford to pay $5, $10 more for a customer than I was. So let's actually invest in growth. Let's go in that direction to get more customers. Obviously ensuring that your email marketing, your SMS marketing and your retention marketing is really dialed in as well. Now you understand the thinking behind these brands and how they do it. I want to explain why this is important in terms of the mechanism inside of the Meta ads auction and how the algorithm actually works there. So the basic mechanism, without getting into the details too much to begin with, is Meta will basically choose who can afford the most to pay for a customer, and then it will send the impressions to that ad. And then every ad is basically an impression war over who can pay the most. Therefore, if you're only counting the first sale, your maximum bid that you will go for actually caps out, and you will lose this same auction to competitors over and over again. And obviously this compounds over time because once a brand wins one auction, they obviously now have the capital, they have the compounding effect. They've got that customer paying them every single month, so they can afford to pay even more to get customers. And there's so many other factors that we haven't even spoken about regarding like referrals, word of mouth, email marketing, SMS marketing, and everything else on the back end, like upsells, that plays into a part once they've actually paid to get the customer as well. Now, if you're spending anywhere from 30K to 100, 200, 300, all the way up to $3 million a month, then I recommend you book a call using the link in the description. It's a free creative planning call. Myself and my team will have a look into your account. We'll run these numbers for you. So we'll get your COGS, we'll get your LTV, your AOV, and all these details. Then we'll also audit your ad account in terms of the main angles that we should be testing, the new formats that we can unlock, any systems that you might be lacking, and we'll show you how we can scale you up to your goals. Now, we have so many case studies and so many results with this. So if it sounds like a good fit, then it'd be great to kind of have that call and see if we can potentially help you. Okay, let me keep going because I want to show you now how to actually calculate all of this. So run you through the actual math so you can do this, straight away. First of all, 6 months data is probably the best place to start. So go to Shopify and look for how much a customer actually spends over their first 6 months with you. And then divide that number, your 6 month LTV, by how much you typically pay to acquire a customer. So this works out your LTV to CAC, which once you understand is going to be a huge unlock for you. So a good LTV to CAC for an e-commerce brand in general is about 3 to 1 or higher. So every dollar spent on acquisition generates at least $3 in customer lifetime value. So your LTV decides how much you can actually pay to acquire a customer, but your creative decides whether you actually can execute on it or not. For example, we work with a subscription health brand with a genuinely world-class product and therefore a world-class retention rate. So they have 50% retention at month 3 and 30% retention at month 6, which is, the best in the best. And a lot of the biggest brands will kind of have similar numbers around here, which on paper looks like they should be able to scale aggressively and just absolutely spend as much as possible on Meta. But that wasn't the case. They came to me, have been working with agencies that were just delivering AI slop ads. They were basically making only bottom of funnel ads, relying on one content style with very familiar faces across all of the ad accounts. So every ad was bottom of funnel, meaning they already assumed that they were aware of the problem. They'd even considered this product as a solution. So the math was saying spend more, but the account was saying we can hardly keep up. So there's a trap on both sides. If you have strong LTV but bad creative, you can't scale. If you have strong creative but you're not optimizing for LTV, then you're going to get to a point where you struggle to scale without CAC or ROAS taking a hit. So if you're watching this as an operator for your brand right now, here's 2 things that you can go ahead and do to actually implement this and see what this looks like in practice. So what's your actual real payback window? Second, how many awareness levels, how many formats, how many personas are inside your ad account right now? And actually go ahead and do an audit. Are your ads messaging styles all bottom of funnel? Are you only saying one specific angle? Are all the creative formats visually the same? If so, that could be preventing your scale as well. The brands that we're scaling from 200 to 500K a month in ad spend and even higher are the brands that have both LTV and creative completely dialed in. So if you want my team to audit both your creative and your LTV, CAC, and kind of overall maths of your brand, the first link in the description will get you a free call with me or my team, and we'll take a look into this and audit your account, and I'll be inside the account in there looking personally as well. Now, this is the exact same process we use to take a brand from 235K to 750K per month in revenue in just 120 days. And if you want to see the full creative system that I've been talking about behind this math, then this video on screen runs through it. I'll see you in the next one.